Hi guys, thanks for tuning into my video. Today's video is going to be basically difference between open and closed bolt Mac 10s or M10s. There is a few different companies that make them. Most popular one right now would be the RPB. Okay, they actually made the closed bolt, the open bolt, and the open bolt submachine gun. I have two exploded views here. One on the left that shows you just a basic closed bolt gun, M10, 45 caliber, and one on the right which is an open bolt submachine gun. Now that open bolt submachine gun is a little different than an open bolt, but I'm just doing this for just to show you the comparisons between the two different ones. First, I will stay on the right here and tell you the difference between the open bolt submachine gun and the open bolt, just regular open bolt M10. Both would be 45 caliber, and there would be a big difference. There's a few differences. If you look right here on the right, my mouse, number 49, up on 49, you'll see a block here. This block does not exist in the regular open bolt non-submachine guns. This block right here is the locking block for 35, 31 for these parts where my mouse is now, which is for the collapsible stock. Now those always can be added to a open bolt gun that you have if you would have to register as a short barreled rifle. It would be better than going through all that, just buy a submachine gun. It's a $200 tax either way. And there is some other differences here. Another difference is with the open bolt submachine gun, every time you press the trigger, as it's firing, the bolt goes back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. With the semi-automatic open bolt guns, when you press the trigger, it cycles one shot, and then the bolt will go back, and you have to press the trigger again for it to go forward again. The similarities are quite a bit, because they are both open bolt. So there's minimal amount of parts, the disconnector and some other parts in them that you could modify to make it full automatic. It's not much. The bolt, as you see my mouse here, is basically the same on the open bolt and the open bolt submachine gun, because the bolt face has the firing pin as part of it. It's not a separate firing pin. Okay. There is the disconnector, which is a little different. The collapsible stock on the back. There's not a lot of differences. I just really wanted to show you this open bolt submachine gun compared to the closed bolt. I guess we could have had an open bolt non-submachine gun and open bolt submachine gun, but maybe we'll do that in the next video, because then it would have to have three views here. And I just want to show you closed bolt and open bolt, the big difference of them, as you can see. On the right, there is a new style and actually an old style, an improved open bolt. But like I say, the open bolt's the same on the semi-automatic also. Now we'll go back over to the left and look at the closed bolt. Now the closed bolt, if you look over here where my mouse is on the bolts, the improved bolt and the other bolt, you can see the firing pin, okay, with the spring. This has a firing pin in it. So what this was, if you would cock the charging handle back and let go, it will go forward. And then you pull the trigger and it would fire the charge. And then it would go back once and go forward again. It's just like a regular closed, like a Glock or whatever. It goes back and forth and it loads the next round. So that's the closed bolt. They are totally different guns. There's a lot of difference in them. So you really can't modify them. It would just be too much work. One thing I did want to say, if you ever do pick up, if you have anybody saying it's a Masterpiece Arms is an open bolt, don't believe it, because Masterpiece Arms never made any open bolt guns. I'm just letting you know that. Okay, so this is kind of in your own leisure. You could pause this and look and take a look at this and see what you think, or look at the differences. The open bolt, like I say, RPB Industries made the semi-automatic open bolt versions of the Mac machine guns from 1979 until 82. In 1981 and 82, the ATF issued formal rulings that several open bolt semi-automatic guns were in fact machine guns, even though they only fired one shot per trigger pull. ATF decided the guns were too easy to make into machine guns. covered by their ruling 82.8, were the RPB rifles and pistols based on the M10 machine guns made by Military Armament Corporation. RPB made these guns in 380, 9mm, and 45 ACP in the open bolt format. Now you can see here's an open bolt gun, and what they normally did, now this is a 380, they hand stamped the letter S in front of the open bolt guns, denoting this was a semi-automatic and not a machine gun. So the ones you would buy now that are pre-82 will have an S if it's an open bolt. It'll have semi-automatic in it. If it's before 82, it definitely is an open bolt. And this is an open bolt, gun right there. So here is actually the internals of it, close-up of the open bolt RPB. Here's a close-up of the assembly. Now, removal or alternation of the disconnector will enable the gun to fire as a machine gun. It won't be select fire, but rather full auto only. The only way you can make it select fire is to put a selector, drill out a hole and put a selector in there. And there's a way to do that, but like I say, if you modify this, it's federal offense, so you might not want to do it. But this is just the circled areas here, show you what you would have to trim off, and it wouldn't be that hard. An M10 open bolt, this is kind of what an open bolt looks like. When you cock the charging handle back, it will stay open like that. And there it again, SAP, semi-automatic, 45 caliber. For this reason, the ATF, did ban them because they could be modified easily. Therefore, the price of open bolt Max are very high now. Normally, in good shape, you get about $1,500 for like a 45. How to identify an open bolt? Let's say you're at a gun show or something, and guy's got a gun, says this is a pre-82 open bolt. Normally, in the serial number, if it's not a 380, it'll say something like 81- or 82- or something like that, 79-. That's going to be the first year. Also, it should be stamped in front of that serial number with SAP or an S before the serial number, like I showed you in the previous pictures. What you do is you pull back the charging handle, so you rack it back, and you let go of the charging handle. If it locks back, it's an open bolt. Then press the trigger, and the bolt should go forward. Okay. Now, when you press that trigger and the bolt goes forward, hold your finger on it and pull the bolt back again and let go. If it locks back, then you know it's just an open bolt. If it goes forward, it's a machine gun. Because what happens is, as long as you press on the trigger, the bolt will go back. It will open back and forth as it cycles the bullets. So that's one test you can do if you're buying it, like at a gun show or something, or you're looking. An M10 closed bolt. Of course, most of all of them are closed bolts today. They no longer make them because they can be made full auto. To check it, and you can actually look right here. If you look at the bolt, you'll see that slot, and I believe they put that slot in there because there's a bar that's got it clear inside the details. But pull the charging handle back, let go. If it's a closed bolt, the bolt will go forward and it won't lock back. Also, the firing pin is not part of the bolt face. They also have a slot in the bolt, so that's a good way to check it. I mean, because if you go to a gun show and you see one laying there and you might want to buy it, you don't want to buy something that's a submachine gun the guy might not even know, and you could have you could have some problems because they have to be registered. The M10, M11. When I put M10 prices, I just mean basic, your Max, Masterpiece Arms, Ingram, all of them. Closed bolt go from $300 to $450. These are just currently made closed bolt. Not open bolt, nothing special, no collectors. The open bolts are $900 to $1,500, with them some are being more. Probably your most desirable would be your RPB in the Cobra. Probably the 380. However, any of them are, they're worth it, or the Ingrams. Also, they're very easy to modify, as you saw before. Those two circled areas where you could shave it off. But you're not going to want to do that. The submachine guns and the M10s and 11s run for $4,500 to $7,000. if you're going to get a machine gun, and that would just require getting that $200 tax stamp. So guys, I hope this was educational, and happy shooting. If you plan on getting one before the laws have changed with the trust, I highly recommend it.